I want to thank everyone for joining us today as we launch this exciting initiative to bring homeless veterans inside in 2025. Yay. My name is Zach Seidel. I'm Deputy Mayor of Communications. I'm going to go through a brief run of show, and then we'll go ahead and get started. First, we're going to hear from Mayor Bass. Following that, we'll hear from Naval Veteran Harold Hicks. After that, we'll hear from Chair of the LA County Board of Supervisors, Catherine Barger. Following that, we'll hear from LA County Supervisor Solis, who is hosting us here in her district. After that, we'll hear from HACLA's new CEO, Lourdes Castro Ramirez, who will provide remarks in both English and Spanish. Following that, we'll hear from U.S. Vets CEO, Daryl Vincent. Following that, we'll hear from Matt Williams, Apartment Association of Greater Los Angeles Board President, Ann Russell, Greater Los Angeles Realtors President, and then Mayor Bass will come back to the podium to introduce VA Secretary Denis McDonough. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us, and thank you so much, everyone, again, for being here for this important announcement. And with that, starting off 2025, I'll hand it over to Mayor Bass.
Good morning, everyone. We are here for a joyous occasion, but I cannot begin without offering my condolences on behalf of the City of Los Angeles to the victims and their families in both the city of New Orleans as well as Las Vegas. Yesterday was a very tough day for all of us. I am telling you that, again, this is a joyous occasion as we begin to continue to turn the page on homelessness in Los Angeles. So I first and foremost want to begin by thanking all of the veterans that are here today and the veterans throughout our country. Each of you have put your lives on the line, and everyone in this room, including myself, owes you a deep depth of gratitude for all that you have done. So I want to ask everyone, can we please stand in honor of our veterans? Thank you very much. I also, of course, want to thank our Secretary McDonough, who just literally got off a plane from Washington, D.C. to be here with us today. And just think about it, because he could be anywhere in the country, but he chose to be here. And frankly, it's just a manifestation of the partnership that we've had over these last couple of years to solve a problem. I also want to thank our partners at the county level. First of all, the chair of the County Board of Supervisors, Catherine Barger. And Supervisor Solis, we are in her district, and she is hosting us here today. Both of these women are vital leaders on this issue in our county. So let me say unequivocally, no one who has served our country, who has put their lives on the line, should be left to live on our streets. Yeah. This morning, we are highlighting the end of old regulations. It's actually regulations on a federal level that has resulted in a lot of veterans being unhoused. The old regulations forced veterans to make a false choice between their disability benefits and a housing voucher. How could we put the men and women who have served our country in such a position and actually leave them on the street? So when we discovered this regulation, and by the way, I just have to say that in this journey that I've been on for the last 2 years, we have discovered along the way a lot of rules and regulations and policies that actually contribute to homelessness. And this was an example of one. So last year, I led a group of more than 50 bipartisan mayors to Washington, D.C. to meet with the Secretary and other leaders in the administration, as well as both houses of Congress, to advocate to fix this problem. So I want to again thank the Secretary and the Biden-Harris administration for hearing what our group of mayors had to say and for making this needed change. We are working hand in hand with our partners on every level, the county, the city, the state, and the federal government, and on the congressional leaders, on the congressional side, with leaders such as Congressman Brad Sherman. We are now working to codify these changes. This is what is possible when you bring all levels of government and the community and business organizations together. Currently, we have over 2,000 unused vouchers. 2,000 unused vouchers where veterans couldn't use the vouchers because of this regulation. So we are working now in partnership with the VA and with our new leadership at HACLA, the Housing Authority for the City of Los Angeles. And I want to thank our new CEO, Lourdes Castro Ramirez, who will be speaking with us in a minute. So this now means that we need to match veterans who we know are unhoused with the vouchers to housing units, and that today we are launching a new initiative to bring all of the veterans inside so we can get this job done. We're expanding our partnership with U.S. Veterans, U.S. Vets, a national organization who has worked for years that is dedicated to housing homeless veterans. This follows a partnership that we established with U.S. Vets last year and the independent organization, the Mayor's Fund, to make sure that veterans don't fall into homelessness in the beginning. We're uniting with the Apartment Association of Greater Los Angeles, the Greater Los Angeles Realtors Association, and more organizations to help recruit apartment owners to house veterans. We want apartment owners to take a voucher and take a vet. It's a patriotic duty. Just last week, the Department of Housing and Urban Development announced a nationwide increase in homelessness. Homelessness increased around the country. But HUD also highlighted that here in LA, we actually bucked the national trend with the first decrease in years, including a drop in Los Angeles County and City, a drop in veteran homelessness of more than 20%. It needs to be 100%. So today's announcement is about building on the progress that we have made together thus far, and we can only do it together. If you are a property owner in Los Angeles who is interested in joining this effort to rent to a homeless veteran, join us today. Email us at houseurourvets@lacity.org. We have staff ready to assist you in getting started, so help us house our vets now. It is a sign of your patriotism to say, I will step up and take a voucher, because no one who has served our country should be left on the street. And with that, I want to turn it over to veteran Harold Hicks, who served in the U.S. Navy and now lives in an apartment downtown through these same vouchers, the Veteran Housing Program, which is called HUD VASH. First of all, Mr. Hicks, thank you. Thank you for your service.
Thank you. Okay, first of all, I want to say Happy New Year to everyone. 24 is gone and 25 is here. This new initiative that we're having right now, I'm so grateful. As they said before, I'm a U.S. Navy veteran. Went out, served in the Gulf War, came home. I started this journey because I wanted to protect my kids. I have 4 children. And by protecting them meant everything to me. I would have been a lifer, but I had to take care of my family. By doing so, when I came home, ins and out of trying to find a job and do what I need to do. And as veterans, we're very prideful on the things that we do. And we don't believe in failing the mission. Our mission is everything. So when I was able to get a job, I was able to support my family and do what I needed to do. But, due to the economy and the way things happened, I lost my job. Lost my job, and I was out on the street standing in my car for about a year and a half. And that's that whole thing about being prideful, not understanding, not wanting family members to know what was going on with me because, hey, I'm a veteran. That's what I do. You know, I don't fail at what I do. So I slept in my car and continued to do the things I did. But a voice told me, Mr. Hicks, you're actually failing the mission by not asking for help. So I did ask for help. And through a nonprofit organization, I was able to receive the assistance that I needed, and which led me to the city program of HACLA. I'm very grateful to this program because I was able to host my family at my home, which I live off of 6th and Main, right down the street, and not fail my mission. And I want to tell the veterans that are out there, it's okay. You can ask for help. You have those property managers out there that will help you. And I implore you, if you need to speak to me or anybody else, please do. I'm that voice where I understand what it's like to be on the street. I understand what it's like going to the gas station, taking showers. I understand what it's like to making sure that, you know, I hide what was going on. So it's okay to ask for help. To the property managers, I want to say thank you for those that are assisting us veterans out there and making it happen. I know the Topaz Apartments where I stay, my property manager is awesome. I want to tell her thank you for everything that she did for me. And this HACLA program and with Mayor Bass and the initiative that's going on right now, I thank you guys for helping us, those veterans out there that gave, you know, the ultimate sacrifice and to come home and be able to do the things that we do. With that being said, I want to say thank you again. I appreciate you.
I want to bring up now the chair of the County Board of Supervisors, and let me just say a few words about her. We have worked together for many, many years. Years before I ever thought about running for office, we worked on the issue of child welfare. But Catherine Barger, who is serving this year as the chair, has been exemplary on this issue, on the issue of getting all Angelenos housed. And so with that, join me in welcoming the chair of the County Board of Supervisors, Catherine Barger.
Thank you, Mayor Bass. And Harold, I think I can speak for everyone. It's not charity. You earned everything you're getting. And I want to thank you for your service and thank you for sharing your story with everyone today. It's powerful and it lets them know, by the grace of God, it could be anybody. So thank you for everything you're doing. And I just have to say it truly is an honor to join you this morning to reaffirm an unwavering commitment to addressing veterans that are homeless. Supporting our veterans and those who are connected to the military community has been an important priority throughout my career working in the county, even before I was elected as supervisor. These courageous men and women, along with their families, have made extraordinary sacrifices to safeguard our liberty and to protect the freedoms that we all hold dear. I firmly believe that the words veterans and homelessness should never be used in the same sentence. And I think you all agree. When our Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors declared a local emergency on homelessness nearly 2 years ago, one of my main goals was ensuring a focused and targeted effort to address the veterans that are languishing on our streets. To that end, I have proudly championed initiatives like the county's Veteran Peer Access Network, something that truly is changing lives, which prioritizes veterans in need of housing and services. I've also consistently advocated for veterans to hold a core position in the regional governance board's work to align resources across the entire LA County region. As chair of the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors, I stand before you today to say without hesitation that ending veteran homelessness is possible. And it's within our grasp. We've seen it and we know it can be done. Collaboration is going to be what makes it all come together. We've already started to demonstrate this through the incredible collaboration among the county departments. Los Angeles County's Department of Military and Veterans Affairs is leading the charge on behalf of the county and in support of the one team effort with the VA. And I have to say the VA has been an incredible partner. The collaboration with one team approach emerged from the county's homelessness emergency declaration when we directed the Department of Military and Veterans Affairs to work closely with key stakeholders like the VA, CalVet, and others to identify and address the unique needs of homelessness and the challenges veterans face across all agencies. I want to take a moment to acknowledge the tireless effort of James Zenner, our director, who could not be here today, but I can tell you he's a proud Army veteran, and he lives and breathes this each and every day. Though he couldn't join us due to family obligations, I know that if he were here, he would definitely say, well, he'd ask you for a lot of things first and foremost. But he would, make it. I know that. But he would also thank you for never forgetting how important the veterans are, not only to LA County, but to this nation. Under the collaborative vision of the one team and leadership of the VA, our goal for veteran housing placements this past year was 1,605. I'm proud to share that through collective efforts, we surpassed that goal by placing more than 1,800 veterans into housing, which I would argue is truly a remarkable achievement. This success underscores why I am a steadfast supporter of initiatives like the Veteran-Enriched Neighborhoods created by the nonprofit organization Homes for Families. This work, led by our nonprofit sector, another important collaborator, because government alone is not going to fix this problem. We work to place veterans and provide them with affordable housing that they, similar to Habitat for Humanity, which when I think of Habitat for Humanity, I think of our incredible President Carter. And this program is about giving our veterans the opportunity to be a first-time homeowner, not only with their sweat equity, but also with low-interest mortgages. And I've seen firsthand the impact it's had, not only on the veterans, but on their families. And I know you talked about that. This progress would not be possible without our invaluable partners, the incredible Mayor Bass and the City of Los Angeles, our 87 neighboring cities, and the many dedicated service providers who have joined us in prioritizing housing veterans. We understand that veterans' needs vary from the Antelope Valley, which I represent, to the South Bay, but our shared responsibility remains the same: to repay a debt that can never fully be repaid, and to honor their service by ensuring their well-being. Today, I'm proud to stand side by side with one of my top collaborators, Mayor Karen Bass, and our incredible VA Secretary as we unite for this House Our Veterans Initiative launch. I also want to express my heartfelt gratitude to our property owners and housing providers who have stepped up and set aside vacant units for our veterans. We could not do it without you. Your willingness to collaborate is crucial to our shared mission of ending veteran homelessness in Los Angeles County. In Los Angeles County, we currently have over 3,400 HUD vouchers dedicated to formerly unhoused veterans. But listen to this, only 60% of those vouchers are being utilized. 60%. That's why I say I know together we can get every veteran off the street. So the launch of today's initiative couldn't come at a better time. Closing the gap and ensuring all eligible veterans can secure housing is critical. By partnering with the Los Angeles County Development Authority and the Housing Authority of the City of Los Angeles, property owners can make a transformative impact on the lives of veterans who have vouchers in hand and are searching for a place to call home. I'd also like to commend the Los Angeles County Development Authority's Director, Emilio Solis, who is an Army veteran and whose leadership and collaboration in this effort is going to be vital. Our Veteran Housing Surge Initiatives aims to identify 650 eligible HUD-VASH veterans by April 1st, 2025, and you can hold us to that, with a goal of ensuring at least 300 veterans go through the streamlined process and enhanced partnerships. HUD's new waiver, which allows self-certification for certain documents, will go a long way to quickening the pace of this critical work. None of this would be possible without the extraordinary partnerships we've cultivated with the partners who are represented here today. Together, we are demonstrating that veteran homelessness is a shared issue. We are tackling it head-on with the support of the state and our federal partners. Finally, I want to extend my sincere gratitude to my colleagues on the Board of Supervisors for their steadfast commitment to this cause. While I'm the chair, all 5 of us have made this a top priority, whether it be the housing, but also the hiring, to make sure that we provide everything possible for our veterans to succeed. With that, I'd like to invite Supervisor Solis up to say a few words. This is in her district. I'm jealous. I love this. If the walls could talk here, I was telling the secretary, this building has so much history surrounding our veterans, and so I think it's the perfect place to launch this. So with that, Supervisor Solis.
Thank you. Thank you. Buenos dias. Good morning and welcome to the 1st District, but more importantly, welcome to Patriotic Hall. That has so much hope and inspiration. I look and see all the eyes and folks that are here today to help celebrate something that I know is long overdue. And it's been my privilege to serve here on the Board of Supervisors, now completing my 10th year, and to be serving next with my chair, Catherine Barger, as well as our mayor. Thank you for inviting me here, Karen, as well as Secretary McDonough, who I have known previously in another life at the White House when he was serving our vice president, but also President Obama. And it was a pleasure when I was former Secretary of Labor. And I just want to say that some of you remind me of the good work that government can do and that we continue to do and push ourselves to make sure that every department, whether it's at the federal level, the state level, or county and city, and our nonprofits, we don't do it alone, as was said earlier. It's so important for us to come together. And I especially want to thank the Biden and Harris administration, and especially Secretary McDonough, as well as our acting secretary of the Department of Housing and Urban Development, who I had the pleasure of meeting Adrienne Todman in Washington, but also she came out here and we actually talked about more opportunities to collaborate, to extend more housing for the unhoused, for families, but more importantly today it's about veterans. And I want to thank everyone for helping to move this agenda along, because it does mean something for our families, especially in these hard, trying times that we're faced with right now. And all I can tell you is that working in collaboration with Mayor Bass has been a pleasure and delight. And I know she cares so much about all of our unhoused, but especially with maybe triple or 5 stars for veterans, because that's how important it is. And that's how important you are, because you make up a large proportion of veterans in LA County. There's well over maybe 300,000 veterans who live in LA County, and a good number of them are unhoused. We know that. They are our family members, our brothers, our sisters. For those women veterans, I also want to salute you, because, as was said earlier by Harold, sometimes it's hard to ask. And I understand that even with women vets, it's even harder, because it doesn't show up automatically. But we're here to say we're standing up with you. And this is one start. I want to say that for us in the 1st District, we've been happy to provide housing for many of our unhoused veterans in East LA, in the unincorporated area of LA County. We already have 200 units of permanent housing online, and we'll have another close to 200 that'll be coming in with cooperation with the city. And this place here alone at Patriotic Hall, we are going to be putting out a request for proposal to establish up to 200 to 300 units of permanent housing in that parking lot behind this building. I also want to give credit to the taxpayers of LA County, because we didn't do this alone. They helped with Measure H, and that helped to provide a lot of significant support for our veterans and the unhoused. According to my notes, I know that we provided about $1.9 million through Measure H, and we just got past Measure A, which is going to continue to build upon that. So I, again, want to thank the county taxpayers, because they get it. They understand what the needs are, and I think that's what our role is here today. So I just want to say that let's continue to do the best we can. Every veteran, he or she, needs an extra helping hand and support, and we're here not to ask questions. We're here to say, how can we help? ¿Cómo se puede ser? How can we fulfill that promise that you made when you took the oath of office to serve your country? So we celebrate you. Mucho gusto, muchas gracias. Thank you so much. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Lourdes Castro Ramirez, HACLA CEO, who has just done an incredible job. She's not even been here 6 months, but I feel like she's been here 6 years, because that's how fast she is. Okay.
Thank you. I guess I have a few gray hairs to attest to that. Buenas tardes. It's afternoon, and a happy new year to everyone. As mentioned, I'm Lourdes Castro Ramirez, and I serve as the president and CEO of the Housing Authority of the City of LA. And what a great way to start the new year, reaffirming our commitment to ending veteran homelessness. And I want you all to know that the Housing Authority of the City of LA is all in. We stand firmly with VA Secretary McDonough, Mayor Bass, Supervisor Barger, Supervisor Solis, veterans, property owners, and the many organizations that have joined this effort. And we are ready to join this campaign to house the men and women who served our country. Under Mayor Bass's leadership, the City of LA has turned the page. We have reduced homelessness, and the Housing Authority has been a strong partner in this effort. We've used federal waivers to cut through the red tape and to help people experiencing homelessness move into permanent housing. We also have been able to lease over 3,300 emergency housing vouchers that were made available through the Biden-Harris administration. And I want to commend the HACLA staff who are here. If you can please wave to be recognized. I'm proud to share that HACLA has made significant administrative improvements and will be offering new resources to property owners participating in the HUD-VASH program. In partnership with the county, we've established dedicated funding to assist landlords that are ready to make units available to house veterans. We also implemented an expedited unit inspection process and are now offering housing locator services to tenants that are participating in the program to veterans. The housing assistance locator services includes transportation assistance, assistance with first move-in cost and first month rent. Our HUD-VASH team is working very closely with our partners at the VA, convening several times a week and ensuring that we are all staying in a coordinated manner, focused on ensuring that every homeless veteran can have a safe, affordable place to call home. Thanks to the West LA Veterans Medical Center and the VA of the Greater LA for the changes that you all have made. Yes. We should applaud. For the changes you all have made to the referral process. Just last week, we received 21 referrals, and 18 of those were approved on the spot by the team. So we're moving fast. And today, I'm also pleased to announce that the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development has awarded HACLA 250 new HUD-VASH vouchers, which enables us to serve more veterans. We are grateful that federal investments continue to make their way to LA. As Mayor Bass stated, we bucked the national trend in LA with a reduction in homelessness, including a 20% drop in veteran homelessness. We know what it takes to get to zero, but we can't do it without property owners and landlords willing to make your housing units available. That's the beauty of the voucher program. Property owners are the backbone, connecting veterans with safe and quality rental housing units. Thanks to the Apartment Association of Greater LA, the California Association of Realtors, and the many private property owners that are joining us in bringing stability and a renewed hope for veterans. Please know also that HACLA is continuing to listen. We welcome solutions and ideas on how to continue to improve our service and making things better. We look forward to building upon the energy of this campaign and providing more veterans with a stable place to call home. With improved case management, dedicated services, new vouchers coming from HUD, we urge all property owners in the LA area to consider leasing a unit to a veteran. Ending veteran homelessness, as Supervisor Barger said, is within reach. And now I'd like to, you can applaud. And now I'd like to share a few remarks in Spanish. En Los Ángeles estamos trabajando para cambiar la forma de hacer las cosas para poder salvar vidas y brindar un techo digno a personas que enfrentan falta de vivienda. La semana pasada, el Departamento de Vivienda y Desarrollo Urbano anunció un aumento en el número de personas que sufren falta de vivienda a nivel nacional. Sin embargo, aquí en Los Ángeles se informó que tuvimos la primera reducción en años. Esta disminución incluyó más del 20% entre veteranos militares sin hogar. Ninguna persona que haya estado dispuesta a servir a nuestro país debería de vivir en la calle y enfrentar la falta de vivienda. Es por eso que hoy estamos aquí. La alcaldesa de Los Ángeles, Karen Bass, el secretario del Departamento de Asuntos de Veteranos de los Estados Unidos, Denis McDonough, anuncian hoy un cambio a las reglamentaciones para facilitar el proceso de obtener asistencia. Este cambio pone fin a la práctica de negar asistencia a veteranos debido a que se incluían algunos de sus beneficios de discapacidad como parte de sus ingresos. Esta política afectaba a miles de veteranos sin vivienda, no solo aquí en Los Ángeles, sino en todo el país. También hoy damos a conocer una nueva iniciativa local con nuestros socios para poder brindar vivienda a más veteranos militares. En mi función como directora ejecutiva de la Autoridad de Vivienda de Los Ángeles, en conjunto con la oficina de la alcaldesa Karen Bass y el Departamento de Asuntos de Veteranos, hemos trabajado para aumentar la cantidad de vales de vivienda para veteranos militares. Ahora que hemos aumentado el número de vales, necesitamos unidades de vivienda y la colaboración de dueños de propiedades. Contamos con la disposición y los recursos para poder ofrecer mejor apoyo a los dueños interesados de alquilar su unidad a un veterano militar. Y invitamos a los dueños a que se unan con nosotros en esta nueva iniciativa. Es muy importante, si es dueño de propiedad, que por favor nos den la oportunidad de participar en este programa. Juntos podemos continuar el progreso que hemos logrado, tal como lo declaró la alcaldesa Karen Bass. Les pido a todos los propietarios interesados en este programa que por favor se comuniquen con nosotros por medio de correo electrónico en houseourvets@lacity.org. Juntos podemos brindar vivienda digna a nuestros veteranos militares. Muchas gracias. And now I have the great pleasure to introduce Daryl Vincent, who is the newly appointed CEO of U.S. Vets. First day on the job. Welcome.
I've been with the organization for 21 years. This is the first day in this role. What a first day, right? And I want to say that, since I just celebrated my 30th birthday, I don't know why that's funny. I started when I was 9 years old. You know, give me some grace to say this, that veteran issues are an issue that impacts all of us. And, you know, my mother and father both were Army veterans. And I think all of us say we want our children to do better than we did. So my brother and I decided to join the Marine Corps. And then my son turned around and became a pilot in the Army. Right? I am excited about today because we're talking about prioritizing partnerships as one of the values of U.S. vets. Veterans experiencing homelessness is a universal health care and human issue that connects all of us. We can no longer say we stand by veterans and do not stand up against the social inequities they face in this nation. That is for certain. And we're not trying to blame anyone for that. It's just all our turn to take responsibility. And U.S. vets, along with this partnership, want to make sure that we address this head on. We cannot say we stand with them and not stand up for that. And I think it's very important to remember serving this country should not be a reason to become homeless. We can no longer, and you've heard me say this in some other speeches, ask any minority population, which in this case is veterans, to keep coming up with the solutions to all the problems for the majority population, when the majority population probably caused those problems in the first place. It's time for us to be deliberate and intentional about what we do with veterans. And what that means is ensuring that we have housing available to them. This is not a Republican and Democrat issue, a gay or straight issue, a black or white issue. This is a human issue that affects all of us. And we all could be a part of the solution as long as we don't buy into the myths of dividing the nation, saying, just because I don't agree with your lifestyle, I must fear or hate you. Or because I love you, I must agree with everything you say and do. Both are nonsense. We don't have to compromise our convictions in order to be compassionate. And we all are compassionate about serving veterans. We're compassionate about that. So despite our social and economic differences in this room and our cultural ones and even outside, we have proved when we come together, we can solve issues. We can solve them and we can address them to make sure every veteran doesn't have just housing, but they have a home. If we all are all created equal, then we all should be treated equal, and that means having equity as well. And that means making sure we have everyone in the room to get to the best ideas, because at the very least, the veterans, the community, the staff, the landlords deserve our very best. So under great leadership of Mayor Bass, Secretary McDonough, and all these people here that are standing with us today, you know what's so special about that? They really emulate what leadership is. It's not about rank, authority. It's about action. Great leaders don't set out to lead. They set out to make a difference. And we're making a difference today. From day one, Mayor Bass and Secretary McDonough and the rest of the leaders have made homelessness with veterans a priority issue. And under their leadership, we can continue to get more access so veterans have more choices. And today, we're prioritizing that partnership with the landlords. Landlords, homelessness is not caused by substance abuse and mental health. Homelessness is caused by two issues: poverty and lack of affordable housing. That's what causes it. There are far more people living in housing with substance abuse and mental health issues than are homeless. That proves it. So we want to bring that back to what needs to be done. And you cannot solve it by isolation. You solve it by integration. We want landlords, we want all the houses, all the apartments, all the rooms in this great city of Los Angeles right now, so the veteran can take that voucher, he can get access, to have the opportunity to make the commitment to live in that house of his choice in that community. That's what we want. Look, there are many things that contribute to people becoming homeless, but putting on a uniform shouldn't be one. U.S. Vets is committed with this team up here to make this happen. And look, we are dedicated to the mission until the job is done. And I like to leave with one thing. We have an opportunity to show the whole United States how Los Angeles doesn't manage veteran homelessness. We end it. Thank you so much. I would like to bring up now Matthew Williams, Apartment Association of Greater Los Angeles Board President.
My grandfather was a U.S. Army Air Force. And I just found out that I never realized the Air Force was part of the Army up until the end of World War II. And I stand here before you today. I don't know much about the military, but if I were to liken myself to a military man, I'd be an enlisted. I'd be an enlisted. That's what property owners are. We're enlisted. We're in the trenches. And what I want to say is, Honorable Mayor, thank you for solving a problem. We need more problem solvers in our communities. And I want to say thank you to our supervisors who have shown up today. Thank you for their hard work. And if I did the math right, there's over 3,600 vouchers out there. And just to make the numbers easy, if you're making $2,000, if the rent's $2,000 a month, that's $12 million in financial impact, $144 million over a year. And I just want to share with you a brief understanding of the economics of what this problem solving does. 90 cents of every dollar goes back into the community. 90 cents of every dollar goes back into the community. It goes to the plumbers, the electricians, to our county taxes, which pay for our school teachers, to our loans, which pay for loans for local communities. So helping the veteran helps the community. The veterans have already done so much. They know what the cost is, the blood, sweat, and tears for the freedoms and liberties we have today. And I'm sad to say some of us don't really know the price that they've paid and what they've seen to accomplish the mission, to never fall short of that mission, and to walk with that dignity. And so I have to say thank you to the veteran. I have to say thank you to the veteran because they are the ones that fought for us property owners our constitutional rights to own property. And as the board president of HACLA, it's the least we can do to find a solution to help house the veteran. There's over 250,000 units represented by HACLA. Wow. 250,000 units. And two of our key issues, Lourdes has already addressed. Access to support so that our enlisted mom and pop owners can provide support to our veterans. So I want to thank the veteran. Not only have you fought for our freedoms, not only have you fought for our property rights, but you're now empowering our community and bringing economic dollars back into our community. Show me where a public-private partnership can't benefit everybody. It benefits the veteran. It benefits our local mom and pop owners. It benefits our plumbers, our electricians, our contractors, our teachers, our government employees, our city employees' pension funds, when they invest into the financial institutions that make our loans. When we support the veterans, we're supporting the community. And I brought a good friend of mine, Mr. Goody. I met him when he was at the Dom going through recovery. I was sitting at Starbucks reading my Bible. I'm private, so I can say that. And he asked me, are you a Jesus man? I said, yes, I am. And we've become great friends ever since. And Mr. Goody, he was at the Dom. He became a janitor. He cleaned toilets. And he'd tell me about the picks he'd used to make sure those toilets were spotless. And then he got promoted to the Welcome Center. And Mr. Goody would call me and say, Matt, you got to help this veteran. He's fully funded. We took him with vouchers. We put them into our apartments. This is the beauty. The enlisted, the property owners are already there. They want to help the veteran. When Goody said he vouched, I picked up the phone and I called my mom and pop. I said, hey, look, I've got a veteran. What can we do? So I'm going to just have Goody share a few words about his experience. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Goody. If you call me by my first name, they wouldn't know who you were, who I was. But I am a veteran, a Vietnam veteran. I was homeless for 30 straight years. Yes, you heard that right. And I checked into the VA in October 2011. I did a 9-month stint, but after the 9 months, I felt like I was going to use drugs again, so I refused to leave, and I appealed and got 9 more months, and the rest is history. And so, I started out like he said. I made an impact. I am a Jesus guy, and the reason why I asked this guy was he a Jesus guy? Because I had never seen a Bible so tattered and used. And I was like, God, is he reading that like that? And so I say, hey, are you one of those Jesus guys? And he looks up at me and he goes, I am. And then I asked him to tell me something about Jesus, and he was so accurate. I introduced myself and told him I was in recovery at the VA, and I wanted to change my life. So after 180 days, I was employed there. I got exalted. I ran the Welcome Center. I actually opened the Welcome Center in 2015. I thank God for the brother for U.S. vets. Man, you guys sent so many veterans, helped me with so many veterans, including Matt Williams. I live in one of his buildings today, and the reason why I'm here is because I want him to have a seat at the table when it comes to veterans. I qualified for VASH, but he didn't require a badge. So I live in this building today. And I've never relapsed, and I've helped veterans get employed at the VA. And I've done a lot. Anybody that's been there 5 years or more, longer than 5 years, know who I am. Because I was all in. I promised myself that I was going to change for good, and I've done that. I've done it for Jesus. I've done it for me. And I help veterans today. Thank you. And thank for Matt. If it wasn't for Matt, I don't know where I'd be. But I know I wouldn't be homeless. Now, without further ado, I would like Ann Russell from the Greater Los Angeles Realtors president to come forward.
Thank you, everyone. This has been an amazing morning listening to all these amazing stories here. I want to thank you, Mayor Bass, and your team for making this a priority now and bringing so much needed reform to our unhoused veterans. Thank you. These common sense changes and new initiatives are critically needed improvements that will allow our housing providers, our nonprofit organizations, and our city programs to get those who have selflessly given so much to our nation off of the streets and out of the city shelters and into safe and reliable housing faster and faster than ever before. The Greater Los Angeles Realtors are really proud to be a partner in these innovative solutions and to reduce homelessness in our communities. Really, really proud. Many of our 11,500 members either directly manage properties themselves or represent clients who do so. Whenever I talk to them, they all want to do their civic and patriotic duty and help our veterans get off the streets by renting to them. But up to now, historically, they have been pretty frustrated by a slow and complex bureaucratic process to accept those housing vouchers provided to the veterans. Well, now we're changing that, and I love that I'm here and that we're doing that. I commend Mayor Bass, HACLA, and the Los Angeles County Development Authority for listening to feedback from our housing providers and taking the initiative and collaborative approach to remove those barriers and make sure that we can get our nation's heroes into the housing that they deserve. We've been a part of this process for some years now, and I am thrilled to be here on behalf of the Greater Los Angeles Realtors and so proud to see all of this come to fruition today. Really happy. I want to thank you for making it easier to say yes to those in need and for tackling our region's homeless problem. So thank you very much to all of you.
Well, let me just say this has been an incredible, inspiring morning. And I want to thank all of our speakers and the example of what happens when you bring everyone together in the public sector, in the private sector, all coming together to solve a problem. Earlier, I asked everybody to stand and salute the veterans, but I want to just ask the veterans, please raise your hands so that we know who in this room has served our country. Thank you. I wanted to make sure that our secretary knows exactly who you are. And I have the honor now of introducing someone who has been lockstep with us the entire way. I appreciate that you haven't gotten tired of me calling you and talking to your staff. But when we talked to Secretary McDonough a year and a half ago and identified, although this problem was well known for a long time, it was certainly new to me. But when we identified this problem, he said, I'm aware of it, I'm on it, and whatever we can do together to solve this problem, know that I'm there. The Secretary is someone who leads with courage, distinction, and conviction in his efforts to help our vets. He could be starting anywhere in the country today, but instead he is here with us because he knows how important this issue is. So I want to thank him for coming out to LA to help us recognize the real changes we have made to help veterans and to announce the launch of this new local initiative to house more veterans. Your leadership has been instrumental in making these changes. Under your leadership and with the support of the Biden-Harris administration, veteran homelessness has been reported to be the lowest on record. But as was said by our CEO of U.S. Vets, it needs to be over, ended, and never to happen again. We want to thank you again, Mr. Secretary, and the other speakers for all that they have done to solve this problem, and it is now my privilege and my honor to introduce the U.S. Secretary of the Department of Veterans Affairs, Secretary McDonough.
Well, Madam Mayor, thank you so much for the introduction, and Madam Chair, Madam County Supervisor, thank you so much. To all the distinguished participants today, thank you especially to these courageous veterans. A couple of sailors, Marine, I saw a couple soldiers out there. Thank you all so much for all that you've done. And you mentioned that it's generous for me to be here, but I want to remind you I'm from Minnesota. So we just took a walk, and I thought to myself, what have I been doing all this time? Madam Mayor, as you said, and as several others have referred, veteran homelessness right now is at the lowest point on record. And veteran homelessness in LA has dropped to its lowest level since 2016. Data from the most recent point-in-time count shows a 23% reduction in veteran homelessness in Los Angeles, down from where it was the year prior. And for the third year in a row, VA has housed more veterans in Los Angeles than in any other city in the United States of America. So, importantly, 93% of those veterans who get housed stay housed, and stay sober, and stay committed to being Jesus men, Jesus women, amazing patriots. Amen. And that's what they have earned. Madam Chair, I could not agree more with what you said, that the phrase homeless veteran ought not exist in the English language. So when I first came to Los Angeles as Secretary of VA, I committed, as I recommitted to Mayor Bass, that I would keep my foot on the gas when it comes to housing veterans. I am thrilled that we have continued to do that. I have every confidence we will continue to do that. And I have every confidence, now having worked directly with Mayor Bass in this job as well as in other jobs, that if we didn't keep the foot on the gas, she would ensure that we did. And you referenced the phone calls. It's also texts and emails and visits. So I thank you and for this committed team of local leaders for doing the right thing. Now, we are ecstatic at VA to support this initiative. To hear Matt and to hear Ann and their commitment to this patriotic goal is just good for the soul. And I have every confidence, as we say every day at VA, when we end homelessness for veterans in Los Angeles, we will have shown America how to do it. And we are committed to making sure this gets done. Today's commitment to reach out to property owners, moms and pops, enlisted. My guess is there's some general officers in there too. To get them to work with us as we do a better job executing our regulations, we are all in. And we will not rest until every veteran has precisely what she or he deserves, which is a dignified housing arrangement, as Lourdes just committed a minute ago. So, I thank you. We are thrilled to be part of this. We are committed to see this through. And I just say one word to veterans who find themselves homeless today. If you need a place to stay tonight, we will bring you to that place tonight. Please call us, as 600 veterans have done in the last year, at 310-268-3350. And we will come get you and get you into housing tonight. Wow. That's what you deserve. That's what you've earned. That's what this country, that's what each of these people has just said they are committed to making sure happens. Madam Mayor, thank you so much for allowing me to be part of this effort. And let's get this thing done.
Yep.